Up next, we have the voice of the Berglund Center for the Roanoke Rail Yard Dawgs. He's a former Central New Yorker, and obviously he's down in Virginia now. Mr. Roy Chambers. Roy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being patient and waiting for us. We really appreciate that.
Oh, it sounds like those kids are having a lot of fun, and of course, after what they went through and won that title, they deserve all the fun they can get. So.
Absolutely, they're a blast, I tell you.
Yeah, they're good kids.
Oh boy! So, former Central New Yorker, you're from Morris, New York, correct?
Yes, sir. I moved to Morris, New York from Virginia in 1980. Graduated high school there, class of '89. Went to Cortland State for a year, and then moved back to Virginia, where I've been ever since.
Nice. So how did you get hooked up with the Roanoke Rail Yard Dawgs, who are, by the way, playing the Southern Professional Hockey League? We've been talking about them a little bit over the season because there was a couple of players from the SPHL that were signed to PTOs with the Utica Comets. Utica Comets Vice President Adam Pollock played in the SPHL. So how did that come about?
Well, it came about actually because I was the PA announcer when the Roanoke Express wound up finishing their season after the year they folded in 2004. And I did 1 year with the replacement team they put in here in the UHL, which was the Roanoke Valley Vipers. And then when they McGinn's bought a charter for a dormant team down in Mississippi that was already established in SPHL, they brought it to Roanoke, and I just kind of threw my hat in the ring saying, I don't know if you have any connections or anything yet in town, but I have game experience, and if you need it, I'm available. And Mickey Gray, who is the GM for the team here ever since the inception, he and I sat down and worked some things out, and it's been a partnership ever since.
All right. And I do believe we have a video of some of your work. Dave's going to cue that up for us right now. And listen for the last game that you announced on this, because it's going to sound familiar to Utica, New York fans.
First offense, number 15, and number 17, Igor Kostakov. Number 26, Josh Nino. And number 77, Christian Fella. And in goal, number 30, Henry
There you go.
Is awesome.
It is.
I love that entrance music. Yeah, that energy in there was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, our music coordinator, Joe Miller, has been doing it from the start as well, too. So we started out together. We spent a lot of time in the summer trying to find new stuff, but usually a lot of stuff that he winds up picking up usually is something that his little, at least 9-year-old son will pick out.
That's awesome.
So, but we try to put on a good time with that and things like that, and luckily we have ownership that'll give us some of the tools to allow us to kind of give us a big game atmosphere while staying in minor hockey.
Yeah, I mean that was. And by the way, if you didn't catch it, that was Henry Dill, former Pioneers goaltender.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Roy said he had that video. I'm like, you got to send it this way. You got to, right?
Sadly, Henry was released yesterday. As a matter of fact, they brought in a new goaltender that they signed to a PTO over the weekend, and Henry was let go yesterday's transactions. But I'm sure he's going to be picked up somewhere along the way pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Roy, what goes into a game day preparation?
It all depends on what type of event we're doing. If we have a theme night, there's a little bit more to it, but typically I try to get to the rink roughly about an hour before our gates open for our season ticket holders. They get in a half hour early. So that opens at 5:30, and then the doors open to the general public 6. Post game starts 7:05. I get there and just kind of review the script, which is anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 pages of really small print on an Excel spreadsheet that has everything that we need to do between myself as doing announcements, timeouts, music cues, video board cues, things of that nature, or our in-game host down in the stands with the mic. And review all that. And if there's something special going on, if it's a themed night, obviously there's some themed entertainment going on as well during the timeouts or during the intermissions as well too. So kind of make sure we're all on the same page. Review any new videos that might be in particular to what's going on that night. Get with our radio broadcaster. Unfortunately, in the SPHL, about half the teams do not send a visitors broadcaster. So he and I either sit down because he knows, or we try to figure out how we're going to pronounce certain names that we're unfamiliar with. But by the time that's all said and done, it's about time to start doing our things and start reading announcements and ads, things of that nature. And while that's going on too, some of them recorded already. It gives me a little break, and I can get with the off-ice officials, get starting lineups, verify scratches and injuries, things of that nature that's related to the crowd during the countdown to the starting lineups, which we saw a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, people just, you know what? I mean, it's one of those things you almost take it for granted, right? I mean, you don't think that there would be, but there is so much preparation that goes into it. Because
there is.
No, you got to be right on cue.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to, a lot of it's also done on the fly too. It's very interesting. I do have some experience in baseball as well. And no offense to baseball. I love baseball. I played baseball growing up. I played travel softball over the years just to keep active, traveling up and down the East Coast with that. But when it came to doing the PA announcing, it can get kind of repetitive because everything is so structured. You know exactly when everything is going to happen. Hockey, you don't know if you're going to have a night where every little infraction is going to be called, and you have to space things out, whether it's going to be an ad read during that time in the minor leagues versus music or video or something to that effect. And then some nights you'll go stretches where we miss media timeouts because they're playing for about 7 minutes at a time without a whistle. So it makes it kind of interesting to get to stay on your toes.
No kidding. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Baseball, you got in between innings. It's really no, we're not going to get going on baseball because that's kind of a sore subject around here. There's no way, because I am not happy about it either. That's
rather not.
I'm happy for it, but whatever.
No.
Would you grow up? God, I mean the gall on you.
Right, we've got this debate going on about the current baseball situation, so it's
yeah. Well, I'm not real happy about the situation with the lockout and things of that nature either. But there are some other opportunities out there, obviously, that you can do. I mean,
sure.
It's like there's already been some great games of college baseball.
Oh, it's awesome.
Coverage, so you can get your fill in at the time, and sometimes I prefer college sports over pro sports anyway.
For sure.
The desire is there more.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, do you have somebody assisting you during the game as far as like keeping an eye on things for you?
No, not really. It's really up to me. And like I said, my music coordinator, he and I are pretty much, I guess, co-producers of what's going on. Once the script is released over to us, we're all on headsets. As far as the production crew is concerned, we take up one half of the catwalk, which spans pretty much the entire width of the ice along the sideboards. And between he and I, we pretty much call the shots of what's going to happen next whistle, and then he'll relay everything over to everybody on the camera crew and the video board crew that's further on the other end of the press box in case they have something they have to do, whether it's flash an ad up on there or have a video that plays. We do the collision of the game, which is a sponsored thing, which they take a video clip and cut it down and show it during the third period as far as a really big body check or something to that effect to kind of get the crowd going again. And between those three stations, between music, video, and the PA, it's a very fluid and best word.
On the fly?
Yeah, I guess on the fly type deal. considered how structured it's meant to be, it's never as structured as you want it to be, just because you don't know how the situations are going to go. But the group we've had has been working together for about 3 years now with the new video board operators and camera people, and they're getting into a groove, and it makes it a lot of fun. It's a lot different from when I started back in the late 90s and early 2000s, because we didn't have the headsets, we didn't have the video board, and everything was communicated by walkie-talkie, which was tough to hear over the crowd. So,
Oh, I bet. So you said you're on the catwalk then, so you're not near the press box, I'm assuming, right?
well, the catwalk is the press box
Okay.
in the Berglund Center. There's no suites; it's just all seats, and then we have what's been affectionately called in the building is the North Steel, which is on the north side of the building. Is where primarily all the off-ice officials, broadcasters, and then our production crew sits up there. Sometimes the press will be up there if there's somebody covering either for local TV or local media. And then occasionally the scratch players are usually on the other catwalk all by themselves on the south side of the building.
Yeah, all right. Because, I mean, I know we've got one here at the Adirondack Bank Center. And I don't know about you guys, but I always wanted to go up there and watch a game from there.
What, above the stage?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? Right by where David Lee Roth wrote his name. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. Motley Crew's above my section in 103. You read up on the
Really?
on the air duct. Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. David Lee Roth's over in the backstage. Yeah,
Huh. That's pretty
But
awesome.
it does add a perspective. I mean, it keeps me in shape during the winter time. For a few times I get to go out and play golf during the summer, but because it's all steps, no elevators. And the last set of steps getting up into the steel are pretty steep because it's a confined space.
right.
So by the time you get up there, you want to make sure you don't want to do that during a quick break and have to run up there before you have to say something because you're still huffing and puffing.
That's awesome.
It offers a neat perspective because you feel like when you look up there, it's so far away, but then the way they built it out away from the back wall, it brings you out pretty much over half the crowd, so it actually gets you that aerial view. It's really good sitting up top, and you see how the plays develop a little easier.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you that'd be really cool, actually. So let's talk about the SPHL for a little bit. The Southern
Okay.
Professional Hockey League. How many teams are in that?
There's 11 teams this year. They just added an expansion team this year in Danville, Illinois, by the name of the Vermilion County Bobcats. And so they're kind of expanding their footprint out in the Midwest. Really doesn't fit with the southern portion of the league anymore. But there's 4 teams up there, and it kind of makes it a little easier to get them their games without so much cost incurred when it comes to travel, things of that nature. So, and it is a weekend-driven league. There are, last I knew, I think the rule was you had to have 4 dates on your calendar out of your 26 home games that were held during the week. And the rest can be held on the weekend. So they usually get a lot of Friday night, Saturday night type deals. And
Nice.
here, this time of year, we're starting to get into the 3-3s or the 3-4s, which makes it kind of fun for the playoff push.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. How long is the regular season?
Regular season will run through the second week of April this year, through the 9th, and then the playoffs will start immediately after that and should be done by the end of the month. They take top 8 teams and then whittle it down, best of 3 series with the championship series. Has the option to go the best of 5, but I've never seen anybody take that option.
So they get to pick. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. And it was the SPHL made history about 3 years ago, because we sat out the COVID pause last year due to restrictions here in Virginia. But the SPHL is a league that will do a lot of the experimentation for some things that lined up in the NHL. So where 3-on-3 overtime came from, things like that. 2 years ago, or 2 full seasons ago, they did what they called the challenge round, which was the first round of playoffs. 1 through 4 got to pick their opponent 5 through 8 in the playoffs. And the first year it kind of went right down the line, 1-8 to, the second year they did it, and the last year they did it. We played against Peoria, and took 3 from us, I believe, at the end of the season. So they figured they'd carry that momentum and took us while we were the number 5 seed, and we took them 2 games to none, knocked them out in the first round, and they were the league champs for the regular season.
That's interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
It's kind of different.
It is different. They were hoping it would kind of lead to some more rivalries and some more bulletin board talk,
Right.
but it really never took off that way. I think it's the way they thought it would be, but it was kind of fun. You know, with of course, our media department took off and ran with it the second weekend of the playoffs. They were selling T-shirts that said, challenge accepted, challenge accomplished. So
That's awesome.
The broom on the back of it, the whole 9 yards, and it was the first time they advanced in the playoffs, and it was a real good time that year in town. So
That'd be
Very
cool. To see.
cool.
That would be cool to see if they did that up here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be cool.
different. It'd be different.
yeah, so there's all kinds of little things that they try to tweak and try. Like I said, it's kind of an experiment for the NHL. I mean, we're totally unaffiliated. Anybody that needs players, obviously, like you had with Utica, had a few guys coming up directly, bypassing the E, but a lot of our guys go on and get called up to the E. We had a big push and had to do a big, quick finding of players this year when they did taxi squads back at the NHL, and everybody started going up the ladder to fill those in. So it just kind of trickled all the way through, and we started pulling people out of college or out of the Fed at the SPHL, which is kind of putting their footprint up there in New York here lately too. So you're probably familiar with that as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. So for your Rail Dog Yard play, so how many people does your arena hold?
Almost 8,700.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an old building that it's had that capacity ever since it was built. And one of the first, to tell you how old the building is, one of the first acts that was in that building was Elvis Presley.
Whoa.
So,
Going way back.
Wow.
Yeah, going way back. And for the longest time, our sound system, I think, was just about the original equipment that was in that building. But after
Did you have to wind it up?
After year 2, they brought in some new sound equipment and things like that. They did the video board first, but to start off the new team coming in. But and then they started doing some more of the upgrades to the sound system and things like that when the money became available as well too. So they were getting it there, and it's again giving it that big time feel in a small town community. We average probably I think we're averaging this year about 3,300, which picks up more after the holidays. It's a real competitive first half of the season. With high school football being on Friday nights around here, it's real big down here in this area. And Saturdays between UVA, we're stuck right kind of in the middle between UVA football and Virginia Tech football. So we've got that on the Saturday afternoons, Saturday evenings to compete against. So once the holidays are done, the crowds start coming around a little bit more and more. But don't let it fool you. I mean, the core fans that we have in here have been, fans, multi-generational fans, because hockey's been in some way in Roanoke since the early 60s.
That's awesome.
They grew up, either grandparents grew up as fans and passed it on down through the generations. The parents have done it. And even with that 10-year gap between the Express / Vipers and the Dogs now, they're still just as passionate. And a lot of players that come in here from other teams always talk about how loud this building is, even if it's not filled to capacity, because of the fans and because of the atmosphere that those fans bring. The players absolutely love it. They say they hear everything. And I heard you guys talk with the Utica players about what they may hear, what they may not hear. And there's a lot that I think the players do hear, whether it is the good or the bad, because our fans are passionate and they will hold them accountable. They won't hold back on how they feel. So.
Well, people don't realize it, but hockey has been in the South for longer than people think.
Yes,
I mean, it goes all the way back to the old Eastern Hockey League days.
Yes.
Up here, we're all familiar, of course, with the Clinton Comets, but you had the Nashville Dixie Flyers down there. You had I think it was the Greensboro Generals There was teams down there, and that's
there was the Salem Rebels in the Eastern Hockey
That's
League
right.
as well too,
Exactly.
which pretty much abuts right up against Roanoke. So
Right.
and Henry Brabham, he took it back into after the Eastern League went, Southern Hockey League took over. They played in that. Henry Brabham was from this area, and he's known as the godfather of the ECHL. He basically, at one time, when he was trying to get the ECHL started, I think owned 4 out of the 6 teams. And he lived here through his remaining days. He passed about 2 years ago, I believe it was now. So, but his name is still on the championship trophy for the ECHL. So
awesome.
hockey's had a real big impact in this area. It may not, people think growing to the south, they think the Tampa Bays, the Floridas. They're looking at the National Hockey League level. But if you look now at the footprint, it's not just mostly the Northeast and the Midwest. It's all across the country, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of either players, coaches, broadcasters, front office people, and even equipment managers that have some tie to Roanoke that have been affiliated in some way in the NHL.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. So speaking of Roanoke, who's your biggest rival?
Our biggest rival, it would be the Fayetteville Marks down in North Carolina.
That did not take you long to answer that either.
Well, like I said, the league tries to schedule things and create the schedules to help keep down travel costs. And realistically, Knoxville, Ice Bears, and Knoxville, Tennessee, and Fayetteville are both 4 hours away. But Fayetteville's kind of out there by themselves on the coast in that geographic area. And so we wound up playing them 12, 13, 14 times a year.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, and this was even before COVID and trying to keep the COVID pods going on and things like that. This was from the get-go. Knoxville's only an hour away from Huntsville, so that makes logistically sense for them to play each other. And of course, Birmingham's not that far away from them either. So we do have a pretty good budding rivalry with Peoria as well too. Just for the simple fact of they were considered the evil empire. They've always been one of the top teams in the league. And then, like I said, the year that the challenge round, when they took us number 5, kind of the history of how they played against us, thinking they were going to beat us in the first round. Well, leading up to it, there was a lot of talk because our head coach played for Peoria, and for that head coach that was also in Peoria. And there were also a lot of former players that were playing down there too. So the term that was being thrown around that week in the media and the talk was, in podcasts, was it all come down to the ex-girlfriends will be a big difference maker because they know the systems, they know how things are going to react and things like that, and it helped.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome. Oh boy. So one last question for you.
Sure.
Sean Avery was recently released by the Orlando Solar Bears. Think he's going to come to Roanoke?
No. Unfortunately, there is a league rule that no players with NHL experience can play in the Southern Professional Hockey League.
Oh, okay. That's it. That I did not know that.
Yep. It would be kind of a good thing, possibly, if it did, because the majority owners of our team are the McGinn family, which may sound familiar to some hockey fans because the 3 boys in that family all have or are playing in the NHL. Jamie McGinn, who finished up in Florida a couple of years ago. Ty McGinn played in Tampa Bay and spent some time in Syracuse with the Lightning up there. And then Jamie is currently this year signed a free agent deal and is playing in Pittsburgh. So it was kind of a deal when they came out that it was kind of give the boys a little bit of ownership and front office experience to see if maybe they want to take an avenue to continue their career in hockey once their playing days are done and have some GM experience or office experience, things like that, on how a team is run. And they do a wonderful job. A lot of players here talk about the not really extra treatment, but the special things, because these guys know what it was like to grow up playing in juniors and through the minors. So they kind of understand how that is and how that lifestyle is and how it could affect, the bus travels and the living conditions, things like that. So everything from what I understand is top notch, and it's just only grown since they've come along. In some cases, even some conditions might even be a little bit better than they were with the guys when we were in the 90s and the 2000s back in the ECHL.
That is so cool. So cool. Well, Roy, we thank you for coming on, man. This has been great. Like I said, it's I'm actually kind of in a way glad this started happening up here for the Comets, having to bring in a couple of PTOs from the SPHL, because it opens up a whole new horizon. Really.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, and unfortunately, back in my day, when I was growing up in central New York, there wasn't really hockey in Utica. Not that I remember. I remember always going down to Binghamton, or I went to a game at Colgate University, which was against Cornell. I remember that very well. I actually went out and did one of their intermission contests as like an 11-year-old kid. Shot the puck at the Burger King board, won second place. We were sitting in the student section, and that was my first crowd surfing experience, because they pushed me all the way back up to the seat that way. So I was adopted as part of the student section for the rest of the game.
That's awesome.
I had to make sure I looked, knowing college students, so I made sure that my gift certificate for Burger King was stuffed in my front pocket so it didn't disappear.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome.
But I still have family in the area, and I make it back. So I'm hoping, next time I'm up there during the winter, I'm hoping to come up and check the scene out up in Utica. So.
Absolutely. You have to come see Barry's Rink of Dreams too.
Yes. It's funny, that's how we kind of connected through his Rink of Dreams through there, and actually we worked for the in the same liquor store up there in Cooperstown for the same boss. He was after my time there, but I'd go back in and say hi and support the business a little bit whenever I make trips back home, and we talked a little bit about it, and then I kind of saw it on Facebook, and then I was like, I didn't put two and two together who Barry was. I only talked to him like 2 or 3 times real briefly, just standing in the store. And he's like, "Are you the guy from Richmond?" I was like, "No, Roanoke, but close enough."
Oh, that's great. So where are we going to find the Rail Yard Dawgs on social media?
You're going to find them on Facebook and also on Instagram and Twitter.
All right. And what place are they in right now?
RailYardDawgs.com is their website. Basically, they cover everything across the board.
I love that name.
Awesome. It's so cool.
The Roanoke Express was a big tie-in here, because we were, this town was founded on the railroad, and our goal horn is an actual diesel train whistle, and it's not a sound effect. It's actually up above the scoreboard. It's run off an air compressor. Joe hits the button, and I mean it's all non-automated. It's all manual. And so you can push it as long as you want, or as short as you want, or how many times you want, whatever you drive.
That's awesome.
That day. And it just makes it a true experience. And
so cool.
A lot of fans were hoping that they would adopt that moniker again. Some of the SPHL teams that have been ECHL teams have done that. But Begins and the ownership wanted a new identity, but they still wanted to tie into the community, so they went with the Rail Yard Dawgs. Our mascot's Diesel, so it ties in diesel locomotives. There's a big if you ever have time looking for a little history, you look at the 611 trains that were manufactured here in Roanoke. There's one here in town. They break out about twice a year to do train rides along down to Carolina and back and things like that. And those tickets will sell out in probably 30 minutes, because everybody wants that experience of being behind that old steam diesel. Actually, I got, I don't know how well we can see that, but that's kind of.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
A buddy of mine in Myrtle Beach did this for me. He airbrushes baseball helmets and cleats for major leaguers and things like that. And I told him I wanted a hockey helmet done for my office. So this is what he came up with. And we toyed around with some ideas. So that's the actual 611 train. It's not just our artist rendition, part of the downtown Roanoke skyline, because the railroad runs right through downtown. And then we got Diesel on the top.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And then
It's a great
we're
helmet.
called the Star City of the South because we have a 100-foot neon star that sits on the top of Mill Mountain, which is totally encompassed within the city limits. And that was our secondary logo for a while on the shoulder pads and such was the star. So, we're called Star City, and we've adopted all those monikers and things of that nature. And it's still a big push when it comes to the history of town, but also blazing a new path.
Awesome.
So cool. We might have to make a road trip to Roanoke sometime.
Oh, please let me know. I'll get you some seats, and I hope I think you guys would enjoy it. I think it would be kind of a nice blend between the college game and the AHL game in that level. Just for the simple fact of it's kind of a mix of both. I heard you talking about the lack of crowd enthusiasm as far as being a library these days up there in the AHL. You won't get that in Roanoke.
Dom's going to get fired up again. Here we go.
And maybe this is something that you can kind of relate to. By the way, I'm on the website. I'm going to have to order a hat or something because those logos and colors are awesome. I mean, that's sick. But it is because I love like juniors and like all types of minor league hockey and minor league sports in general, just across the board, like even with baseball, like they tend to get a little more creative with names and logos and color schemes. Like I still have my Mohawk Valley Prowlers clock up there from the UHL that was here. Like I just love that logo. And for me, and you might be able to kind of appreciate this at like a junior level or a college level, it's almost more tied into the community than like at a major level where guys are a little more removed. Like the Pioneers, our college team, like we just talked, they're just kids. Like they love Call of Duty and Taco Bell like that. You know what I mean? Like they're regular kids as opposed to professional athletes. Some of them are making $1 million. It's different.
Well, and it takes a special type to, not only endure the minor leagues and making that switch from, a lot of guys get starstruck sometimes when they're making that leap from Utica to the SPHL or the ECHL and playing a professional schedule and the way that's set up. And it can be a culture shock, but there's also, that again, like you said, it's the interaction with the community. It's being out there with the schools and being with the kids and doing, a lot of times, a lot of our specialty jerseys are auctioned off, and a portion of that goes to local charities.
Awesome.
We have an event in game every period or every game during the first period. It's called the Black Dog Salvage Pup of the Game, which the local Roanoke Valley SPCA will bring in a pup that's in for adoption to the game. They bring him in when the gates open. He's out there, so people can meet him out on the outer concourse. And then we spotlight him, do live video, and, give the adoption facts and all the facts up there.
Awesome.
And last I knew, we were batting 1,000 with that for 5
Dude,
years.
That's awesome.
I'm such a dog lover. That is the coolest thing in the world. Because I have two Bernese Mountain Dogs, and they're my children. Like they really are. So dude, that's the coolest thing. I love that, dude. It sounds like you guys have such a seriously cool operation down there. It's tied in the community. Like that sounds awesome.
And the McGinn brothers come down to do a hockey camp every summer.
Very cool.
Obviously, when the pandemic rules allow travel and things like that. And since Roanoke has been back with professional hockey, the youth hockey program has just exploded. So much so that they recreated the old ECHL barn at the Lancer lot, rebuilt it after it collapsed back in '92 after a snowstorm. Put another sheet of ice in there because it was just getting to be too much with everybody fighting for ice time between pros, Virginia Tech and Radford playing here as far as their club teams are concerned. Sometimes Liberty would be playing their games until they built their arena up there on their campus, and it's amazing to see. And the kids are starting to travel up and down the East Coast and not only participating, but being really competitive and winning some of these travel tournaments up and down the East Coast.
So that's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome. That really is.
It's so great to see hockey thrive in other places besides the northern part of the country. Like it really is. It's awesome. I love that.
It is. I mean, I was kind of given some of the behind the scenes information and stuff, during the week while we were emailing back and forth and stuff. And I mean, I went back and looked this afternoon, and out of the current players that have been here on a contract of some kind in Roanoke, 14 players and our head coach have ties to New York college hockey.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Henry
Very
Gill,
cool.
That's
we
a lot.
mentioned earlier, out of Utica.
Yeah.
We have 5 from Morrisville.
Nice.
Other
Nice. All right.
programs.
Let's go.
Other for Portland, Elmira, Oswego, Brockport, Fredonia, Plattsburgh. I mean, and that's just
Wow.
this year.
Wow.
So,
That is great.
The college scene in upstate New York is getting to be a real feeder down to at least the SPHL. And
Yeah, dude.
out of those 14, 6 of them have already had call ups to the ECHL sometime over the season. They're still up there.
Dude,
That is
like
great.
He will travel.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome. Dude, I love that. It's sick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to get this area more familiar with the SPHL.
Yeah, well, dude, it's a cool league. You know what I mean? It really is. It's a small league, but it still, like you said, they just expanded. You said it was this year they expanded. I think.
Yes.
So it's growing. It's not like it's a stagnant league. That's sick. That's cool. I'm sure I see highlights. I watch it. It gets around. The competition's great.
Yeah,
And-
there's tons of highlights on YouTube, and there's even been, I think, 3 or 4 times this year it's made, plays have made top 10 on SportsCenter.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's great.
Roy, is there any way to stream the games?
There is, I can't remember what the name of the app is. It is a pay service.
Is it My Hockey TV?
I think it might be live stream.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we could find it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
check it out.
I can email the link too. I can go back. And find it. I can't remember what it is. I mean, you will do watch parties and stuff with it all the time and things of that nature too. But so there are ways, and each arena has their own cameras. A high cam, and a lot of that can be just the high cam, and some have the mix between high and low cam to give you a little bit more closer feel when you kind of watching it on the ice as well too. So
That's cool. That's really cool. No kidding.
Yeah, I'm checking out their social media right now. It's pretty awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, Mitch does a really good job with it. Mitch, we just got Mitch this year. Our former original play-by-play guy, Brian Gardner, took a job out in Rapid City in the ECHL. Who also had ties to upstate New York. He was the play-by-play guy for the Binghamton Mets for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
So we always had a good time talking about speedies and all that kind of stuff down in that area. But
Nice.
Mitch has jumped in. He's a graduate of Penn State and is taking off and taking away with it. They implemented things like a play on in cars with comedians. Jerry Seinfeld's little clip there.
That's awesome.
We call it driving with the dogs. They'll pick up one of the dogs from the arena and they'll drive around town in the car and put it out on Facebook and YouTube and things like that. So they do a lot of neat things to keep the interest up, and they push it all year long. So.
Dude, I love
That's
that.
so cool.
That's
That is
awesome.
so cool.
One thing I will say, every time we've had somebody on, because like we were talking with Jason Shia last week. Was that last week?
Yes.
Yeah. So play-by-play guys and like PA, to me, like I don't know why I have a fascination with like announcers and stuff like that. I just always have. And you seem like a real kind of cool, calm, collected, laid back kind of guy. But to hear the way you do the play-by-play, like you get that from somewhere, and it's awesome. Like that's
Right.
it's killer to see you do that. And I'm sure a team that portrays himself as such a exciting part of the community, you definitely help bring that atmosphere to life, and that's something that's really cool.
I appreciate it. It is a lot of fun. I mean, it kind of releases some of those competitive juices.
Right.
I was always playing sports. I played soccer and basketball in high school. And like I mentioned before, I played travel softball, slow pitch travel softball, and sanctioned tournaments up and down, from Maryland all the way down to Florida until I was about 45. So
Nice.
Granted, I'm technically an off ice official, but and I don't go overboard, but at the same time, we sometimes, depending on how the game's going, it's kind of up to to us on the production side to keep that energy going and trying to keep the fans from kind of getting a little bit lower if things aren't going their way. But that's few and far between here in Roanoke. Just like I mentioned before, our fans are avid, and they'll make noise one way or the other, good or bad.
Love it.
Wouldn't trade it for the world. Wouldn't trade
That's
it for
awesome.
the world at all. I mean, it's this, like I said, hockey's gone back here for almost 60 years, on and off, mostly on, and to find something like that in Virginia was kind of shocking to me when I moved down here from upstate New York.
No kidding. That is so cool. So cool. And like I said, please, by all means, if you're back up here this summer, let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No doubt about it. We'll have to have you come back on after the playoffs are over and let us know how everything went.
I'll be happy to.
That would be so cool. Because like I said, this SPHL, man, we got to get the word out about this. This sounds just like such a
absolutely.
fun league. It really does.
Yeah, and like I said, I have a feeling that, like mentioning that New York connection before, I think you're, even if it's not necessarily from Utica, well, I guess they're going to be Utica University from what I read now, but, they'll see some players that they may recognize that come into Utica to play as well, too. So,
Oh, absolutely.
It's awesome.
It'll be a good time all the way around.
Sure will. No doubt about it. Well, Roy, like I said, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite, and sorry it took me so long to get on, but
no worries.
No worries.
It was a pleasure, and anytime, just if you get desperate enough, somebody drops out on you, let me know.
Come on.
Like I said, I want you to come back. I want to hear how these playoffs went. So,
Well, I was just going through their website. You can watch it's hockey TV. You can watch. It's one of the ways you can watch it. And
There you go.
they also have a podcast they haven't updated episodes in a long time, but that's pretty sick.
Right. Yeah, they do podcasts. They also do usually try to do it weekly, but sometimes it's bi-weekly Coach's Corner as well too. Where
I love
Rich
that.
sits down
That's
with the
great.
coach.
that is awesome.
They go over new signings and how things went and what they're looking forward to for their opponents for the upcoming week, things like that. So
Awesome.
they use those tools to get it out as much as possible and do a lot of the self-promotion. And I think everybody in SPHL realistically does a good job. I haven't seen anybody really slack in that department.
For sure.
And I think it's the wave of the future, honestly, as far as media goes when it comes to sports. In the minor leagues, this is going to be the YouTubes and the
For sure.
podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely.
Because show off what you got there. It's unfortunate not more people know.
Right.
yeah, exactly. So
Right. No doubt. Well, we're going to do our best because, like I said, this sounds like such a fun league.
and like I said, if you decide to take that road trip, please let me know. We'll make sure you get your good seats, and there's always plenty of cold beverages floating around the rink as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Now you're talking.
There's the part that sealed the deal right there.
Now you got my attention there.
So, but
Speaking of, no more at the odd next weekend.
that's right. So, but again, gentlemen, thanks for having me. It's been my pleasure, and it was great to meet all of you.
Thank you,
thanks.
Roy.
This was awesome.
Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Stay in touch.
All right, we'll do.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thanks,
You
man.
too. Bye.
That
what a
was
cool
Roy
league.
Chambers. That was awesome.
For real. What a cool league. What a cool team. There's a logo.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
It is.
sick.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, they got some cool merch. They're sold out of some stuff, but I was creeping on it because I'm just like Jamie Vernon with the Googles. Don't stop. They do auctions and merchandise, so anybody wants anything cool, check it out.
Right.
Yeah, dude, they let you customize their superhero specialty replica jersey.
Ooh.
What?
Oh.
No, this is a really cool. I can't share my screen obviously because I'm not hosting, but I'll explain it to you a little bit. It's a pretty cool jersey. It's basically the skyline. It looks like the skyline in a backdrop of the city with like the rail yard in the front, and then the big star he was talking about. It's got the big diesel train. It's really cool. They do an awesome job there from what it looks like. That's sick.
That's so cool.
I know. Have fun with it, man. Let it fly. I love that.
Right.
Let's go Rail Yard Dawgs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing about, like minor league hockey or minor league sports in general. You can do stuff like that.
100%.
Right.
I can't wait for the Syracuse Mets to be the Syracuse Salt Potatoes this year. So excited. It's gonna be awesome
Oh boy.
every year.
Well, guys, we only got one thing left to talk about, and that's the Comets. We had a pretty good weekend in Syracuse. Swept the.
Who are we playing again this weekend?
Well, we're playing Syracuse again tomorrow
Playing
night.
Syracuse.
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow night. But then we got
Oy.
Toronto and Rochester home on Friday and Saturday nights. So
Oh, Rochester? I haven't seen them before.
again, imagine that, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen them play yet.
I haven't really seen Toronto that much, so at least that's a nice shakeup.
Yeah, and Toronto usually plays them pretty tough too. So
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
but,
Well, they just lost. I think I saw in the group they just lost. Yeah,
did they?
I don't know.
that's what I thought I saw. I'll tell you right now. What's today's date? Does anyone know off the top of your head?
Yeah, today's the 8th.
Faith.
March 8th. 3-1 Providence. Yeah, they lost.
Oh,
Wow.
all right. Well, that'll help.
Yeah, that'll help. I'll
No
take
doubt
that
about
all day. They got it. Wow, dude. They play again tomorrow. They got a lot of games to make up.
Well, yeah, because they had to cancel all those. Or
Yeah,
postpone, I should say.
And listen, if by chance anyone from the comments is listening to this, you have no excuses playing this team. They have to play tomorrow again. Guess what time they play tomorrow?
3.
11 a.m.
Oh,
against Abbotsford, which is bananas. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And then,
So wait, Abbotsford's coming to Toronto at 11
Yeah.
a.m.?
yeah,
Ouch.
yeah, dude. And
Ouch.
then they play us the 11th, and then the 12th they're in Syracuse, and then the 17th they're in Hershey, and then the 19th they're on the road for like a month. Man, have fun, boys. It's a bad month to be Toronto.
yeah, no kidding, right?
Oh, I hate to see it. I'm
Well-
looking forward to watching Josh Hosang. That'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have to
Kid's
deal with Nick Ritchie
sick.
anymore. He got traded, so
That kid's sick.
Yeah.
Sick hands. He can't do anything else, but he's sick.
Yeah,
Dude, he can't do anything else. He can sing, I guess. He got some sick hands, though.
well, so far it does look like we're getting Nico Dawes back. He's doing pretty good up in the NHL right now, huh?
Yeah, well, I was talking to one of my coworkers. It's going to be interesting to see what the Devils do with the whole goaltending situation because it's a
Yeah.
mess.
You know what? I got to tell you, I think we're due to get Neil back on to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, is he's still okay? He's
I don't want to put him
Hasn't checked
into
in
a.
yet?
I don't want to have to put him into any certain state of mind.
The devil's state of mind.
Let's look out for his mental health. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I fell off on social media." I go, "I noticed." He's like, I had to get away for a minute." I go, "I get it, dude. I understand. I'm assuming it's something else because a hockey team shouldn't really do that to you, but maybe it is because a baseball team's done that to me my entire life." So
Well, he's got another podcast out too. He does the Brooklyn Nets podcast.
yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. He should.
Have you watched his watch along yet on the hockey
I haven't. That I haven't.
on the hockey podcast
I
network?
popped into
YouTube?
one, and it was just him yelling about comments for like 5 minutes.
It was awesome.
So I was like, all right, so Neil's up to par on everything here. So go ahead and send that the way we're going, boys. I was like, I get it. I'd be doing the same thing, but
Yeah, right.
I'd be probably a little more cool, calm, and collected because that's the too. But he was losing it. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, if you get a chance, check it out because it is. I mean, I just love the guy. He just goes crazy. It's great. So, but
Team's gonna have to start paying for his like therapy or something.
oh boy,
Dude, that was for a couple. I mean, there's a couple years the comments were terrible. I mean, that was kind of us here for a while.
yeah.
Never, not really. Any time in recent history was at the Pioneers. So
No,
No.
Dude, it's just. Can I? I don't want to get into that. Never mind. It's not. I don't want to spill any juice or nothing. Never mind.
How are you going to do that? Now
Just
you
go
gotta-
by your day. Just go by your day.
you gotta do it.
Go by your day.
What are you gonna say?
No, we're
I
not.
don't know. He's
No.
talking about juice. I don't know if I want to know about this.
I had to pick up on Facebook last week.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're still watching this or you're listening back or you watch it and you're in the Utica hockey fans group, there is now a list of rules. Please try and abide by the rules. If someone shares a link, for the love of God, 9 other people don't have to share it. Just comment on the link. One of the rules is multiple posts will be deleted because it doesn't matter who shares it. It just matters that it's there. So help me God.
You know, we got to just make an entire segment of this show with Dom just going off about something because it's the best.
Chanting? Chanting's one.
Yeah.
No, I'm over the Chan. I'm so like my energy in fandom has like shifted at least for the next month from the comments to the
Pioneers.
I'm in Pioneers mode. This is Pioneers mode, baby. It's been a while because of COVID, but we're back. We're all the way back.
Oh yeah.
Like bad. We're down bad. Like let's go. That would be such a great. You know what, Jordy, you're absolutely right. You're 100% right. It would be, but no, we're no disrespect to the comments, but like they don't have my full attention right now. Like I got tickets. I'm gonna have to get rid of March 25th because I won't be here. I'll be in Lake Placid. So
I'm telling you, I'm gonna make it.
Agree. I always look to see if someone that you one of the best members of that group right there is Josh. He's on the Monday. I get confused, dude, because you share so much good stuff and you have the same logo as the team. So I'm like, I know from the team. I love it. I think it's great. It's fantastic. But it's a good group, man. There's a lot of people. Honestly, if you're listening to this, all jokes aside, I'm not going to yell at you. It's fine. You're a Pioneers fan, or like you kind of are, and you just want to follow along. It's a cool group. A lot of active people, good videos, good pictures from the game. Absolutely. Active comment threads. Like it's a growing group. I think we're about 140 members now. So it's awesome. It's cool. It's something that I think we need. It's a good addition that the Pioneer Posse guys like it too. Like they're in, like Aaron and Danny love it. So that it's cool. It's a good thing.
Good deal. Yeah, it's an awesome group. It really is.
I made friends with those guys this weekend, by the way.
I mean, you were over there, so yeah.
Dave messaged me on Facebook. He goes, "Hey, you're gonna make it to the get together at the Dinghy Bar?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna make it, but I wish I could. If I'd known in advance, I probably would have made it because we've been a blast." I don't want to be like, "Who are you, by the way?" And I had to think about it. I go, "Oh, you're the you suck guy." Right. Great dude. Great dude.
Shout out to the Dinghy Bar for surviving COVID and still being open.
Dude,
My father would go there years ago.
Yeah.
For fried bologna sandwiches.
You said it, Josh, not me. Yeah, dude, that's I almost forgot that was kind of the spot. I haven't been there in forever. I've been there for work, but I haven't been in there like forever.
So I can't even tell you how long.
I'm not against going. I'll go. I got no problem with that. I love having a nice little spot. Like I wish there was like a Comets bar around here. You know what I mean? I almost
the old school one for the Devils was the Bearded Dolphin.
Yeah, that's not
even I don't even know what that is now.
It's a Caribbean food restaurant now.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. It still looks exactly the same. I think one of the Bearded Dolphin signs is actually still up, I'm pretty sure.
Awesome.
But dude, I don't know if they would do it because every time I go to the Dinghy Bar, there's like a concert on. It's not even sports. I say they should play the Pioneers games. They could stream them. That would be sick. Or that's why I was like I put it on Twitter a long time ago, but I think it'd be really cool. Like if there's a local bar, it would probably have to be more centrally located. Like no disrespect to the Valley, it'd probably have to be more like a Utica thing. But dude, just if you're a bar owner or you work at a bar and you like, because I've worked at a bar, so I know what it's like to try to get people through the door. Get the AHL TV package.
Oh, no doubt.
Get the AHL TV package. Even just get the away games. It'll cost you $40 a year. You'll make that the first night back, guaranteed. Just have the game up. Killer Brew would be good. I haven't been in there in a long time, Josh. I mean, by that I mean I go there a lot, but I've been meaning to like mention it. Because if you go in there at the right day, what's his name that owns it? I can't think of his name. Mike. He's there. And he's like, dude, they probably would. I've watched Comets games there before. Like that would be a sick thing to do. You make it on one table you'd make your money back immediately. And then just every Comets away game, just you have it on and people can go in there and we can meet up and do like stuff there. It'd be cool.
Playoffs are coming up.
Playoffs would be sweet.
Yeah.
Dude. We're going to have a series where it's not really going to be ideal to travel.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like do that, dude. And then you could play Killebrew at Killebrew. You can make Comets wings or something. You can make money off it because people will buy anything. Do 2 for 1, do a special, something. It'd be a good, I think if I owned a bar, I would do that already. Be a Utica hockey bar. Well, that would get out of control in a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm sure it would.
It'd be beer only, cash only. That's it. We have a menu with 3 items on it: wings, fries, and burgers.
Mott sticks.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Keep it like
there it
that.
is.
Keep it like that. Your fries get served in a bucket. And by a bucket, I mean like a bucky. And then they're going to call it a day. I don't want to hear nothing. Players are there. Leave them alone. Let them watch the game. These people.
Yep.
Let them enjoy it. Relax. Maybe I will open a bar.
There it is. There is the words of wisdom for the night. Now we just got to come up with a name for it. That's all.
For a bar. I have a name for a bar, but I couldn't. It couldn't. It wouldn't be a hockey bar, and I can't say it here because it's like too good. I don't want one of you people to get cute and take my idea. I don't want because you can't facilitate the way. No, don't. Can't believe someone hasn't pushed the hockey theme with their bar. That's what I'm saying. Like thank you, Josh. That's what I'm saying.
People, I mean, I remember there used to be a bar that would push, hockey nights, especially for the Pioneers and for the old Comets. But now it doesn't even happen anymore. I don't know if it's because COVID kicked in. I don't know.
Who's this?
Kilbur used to do it.
Dude, I'll talk to them. I'm good friends with the bartenders there.
Yeah,
honestly, like
Mikey
I think they would do it.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in there one night. It was like a dead Thursday night, and there was just a hockey goal in the bar.
Yeah.
And my buddy Vinny, do you know Vinny, the bartender? He's kind of like my height. We played high school sports against each other. We were always the same.
I coached him in football.
Well, yeah, we were always like the same height, so we always had to like face each other in like basketball and stuff. So like we know I go in there and I go, dude, what's going on? And he goes, don't ask. I go, done. He goes, you want the game on? And I go, the Rangers game? He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, done. Yep, please. Done. So it's not like it's not a hockey bar.
Right.
So if they leaned in full tilt, dude, Mike, I would do your social media for you. We'd crush it. Whatever you want to do. TikTok, Instagram, who cares? Let's get it done, son.
Well, there we go. There's our homework for the weekend.
I'm telling you.
I mean, that is the bar that does sponsor us too, Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It'd be perfect.
I got the in.
It'd be perfect.
It'd be a blast. We could expect, dude, you got the 19 TVs on the wall.
Yeah.
Get the comments going.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put that out on social media. Let's see. Let's run a poll or a contest. See which bar should become the Comets bar and the Pioneers bar.
Yeah, just the Utica hockey bar. I think we could do it if we put enough different pubs. We could totally figure it out, and I think we could figure something out. I know a couple other people that own bars in here, but I'm pretty sure one of them's getting sold because I think they're. I don't think they're. I don't know. Whatever. But I
thought you were about to say about to get sued. I was like, no, just leave us out of this.
No, there's a couple bars around here that I think are probably going to, but none of them that I go to. I believe Mike sponsors. Yeah, he sponsors their beer league team.
Yeah,
that I didn't get a jersey for some reason.
You got to play.
I don't have to play.
No, you don't.
I don't have to play.
I mean, just get on the roster. I mean,
I just need a jersey. That's it.
We'll keep you in mind next year.
There we go.
It's just about over.
All right.
So,
what do you think this is, Jer? I can't walk through the odd without getting distracted every 5 seconds.
Hey, you got a shirt?
You got a shirt. Hey, whoa, hey, this, woo, ah. People tell me they call me the mayor of Oneida County.
man.
It's relentless. It's everyone. I love it. I think it's great. But I'm just saying, if I had a jersey, it'd be even better.
I'm the shirt guy.
Dude, I'm the everything guy. Yeah. Dude, your tweet was hilarious. Yeah, I know. That's why I tweeted it. Thanks, dude.
You are the everything wings of social media. You know that?
I'm not a lot of people can handle me. It's not what it is. Not for everyone, but those that enjoy it, it is a delicacy.
Well, let's think about that. Let's see about who should become the Utica Sports Bar, and we'll talk about it during the week.
Because I can walk home from it.
I do too. So.
I can walk home from there.
Oh boy. Well, guys, I think that's about all the time we got for this week. It's been like one of our longest shows on record here, so this is really cool. But
Chicklets goes for 6 hours, and they're the biggest hockey podcast in the world. We'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, anyways, we want to thank from the Utica Pioneers, John Makovic, Brandon Osmondson, Justin Allen, and Christian Acosta for coming on. We also want to thank Roy Chambers from the Roanoke Rail Yard Dawgs of the SPHL for coming on. For Dom Real. For Jeremy Roberts. I'm Scott Kimball. This show's almost over. We can't go off the rails yet. That's all we got. We'll see you next week on Marty's Legal Stick Hockey Podcast.
Oh.